From the Sunshine State, this is Tampa Bay's Tan Talk.
Welcome to Random Talk. I'm Jim Arnold, the Collectaholic.
And I'm Paul Cox, Doctor of Chiropractic from Newport Richey, Florida.
You can get my website at reelart.net, and I collect movie memorabilia, real props from movies and stuff like that. And one of my soothsayers is I read on the last night. Not many people know this, but George Lucas actually lost millions of dollars to Steven Spielberg on a dumb Star Wars bet. Did you know that, Cedric?
I did not know that.
Okay, you want to guess what it is?
What the bet was about?
Yeah.
I have no idea.
Well, actually, George Lucas, when he made Star Wars, it was on a shoestring, and he got friendly with Alan Ladd Jr., who was in management at Century 20 or Century 21, 21st Century Fox, and they made this movie on a very low budget, and he didn't think it was going to get made.
He was young too.
Well, he had the only movie he made before this was THX 1138 or whatever it was, and that was like a college movie, and that was pretty popular. It has a cult following even to this day. And the Star Wars he had wrote the whole book, and they said, well, you just need to break that down. So he picked episode 4 in the book, but there was a whole book that he had wrote. So he was going to do this, and that's one of the reasons they filmed this in sites like Tunisia, and that is because it was so inexpensive, and they used a lot of it was in London too, and so he was really worried that, and all throughout the movie they ran out of funding, and he kept having it. They wanted to shut the movie down, and Alan Ladd Jr. kept having to go back to management and try to keep it going. Well, while he was taking a break, he went to the set of Spielberg was making Close Encounters of the Third Time at the same time, and he said he was really worried about, he wasn't going to have enough money from this thing to continue, and they made a bet that Spielberg would give Lucas 2.5 points from his stake in the film of Close Encounters of the Third Time. And if Star Wars was whichever movie was more successful, if Star Wars was more successful, Lucas would give Spielberg the points, 2.5 points. Well, Close Encounters of the Third Kind came out, and it made a mini fortune at the box office, grossing $340 million, more than 10 times its budget. And however, when Star Wars came out, that was dwarfed by it brought home almost $800 million. And it was a low-budget film to begin with, where Close Encounters wasn't even a low-budget film because Spielberg had already made it big with Jaws. And to his credit, Lucas paid, and he's still paying to this day. It's estimated that it cost him $40 million. Pretty steep price for a wager.
For a little bet.
Yeah, where am I on that? They should have made me part of that bet.
Well, we've got some sad news today.
Yeah, that leap year's coming.
This is real. Tiger Woods will not be playing in the Masters.
Who's Tiger Woods?
Tiger Woods is a great golfer. He's the world's best golfer, in my opinion.
I thought that was Leopard Tree.
No.
Leopard Tree, that guy that lives in Orlando that had the problems with the women over there and stuff. Isn't that Leopard Tree? Isn't that guy's name Leopard Tree?
No.
He picks up a new woman every time the wind blows a different way.
No, it's not that guy.
April Fools.
Anyway, he had back surgery, so he's out of the Masters this year.
Well, maybe he should have came and saw you.
Well, I don't know. They really looked at him and rehabbed him, and it didn't work out, and so he had a mini discectomy, which means
What's that?
You have the disc that sits between the two vertebrae, the two bones, and it kind of bubbles out, and it bubbles out usually onto the nerve, and that's where they go in and they shave that disc off and reseal the disc, so they cauterize it, so it won't leak onto the nerve anymore. But there's always a possibility of that happening.
Well, do you think these guys, when they play golf, they every day when they get up, they hit 1,500 balls and that? Do you think they're really doing a lot of damage to your back?
No question about it.
Yeah.
They all athletes have problems. The best athletes probably are not even playing in the sport because they got hurt, even when they were younger. But the ones that are in it are lucky enough to have not had any major injuries. But now Tiger Woods first it was his knee, now it's his back, and he pushes himself.
Next it's going to be something else, right?
Next it will be something else. Shoulder, wrist,
pinky toe.
Could be. But that's life.
Yeah, well, that's
at least he's still alive.
Well, at least he's still alive. It's better than a lot of people have to say for themselves,
right.
Especially like up in Washington State with that mudslide.
Oh, so sad. Have you been watching some of the pictures of it?
At first when I heard that, it said Washington mudslide. It's like the town of Alexandria up there. I thought it was in Washington, D.C.
OSO. I think it's OSO.
No, but when they first said that, I thought it's up by Washington, D.C.
No.
And I'm thinking mudslide because it's not really up by Washington, D.C. It's not really mountainous terrain. Now in Virginia, when you get towards western Virginia, it gets mountainous, but not.
That's correct. But this happened in Washington State.
Right. Whole different ball game up there.
And it's sad. People are buried under like 80 feet.
Well,
of
they still
mud.
haven't. They got like 150 people still missing.
They said they're finding people. It looks like everybody's and everything that's come through this is gone through.
Did you see the somebody had a video that they took of it happening. It was really weird because all of a sudden like this mountain fell.
Yeah, I saw it where the trees were just going right by
just
them.
like boom, and it completely wiped out this. I think there was a train going by, wasn't there? And it like completely knocked the train off the track, and then there's a city, and it like moved right into the city and gobbled up the houses and all that.
I didn't see that.
Oh, yeah, it was really something. Hey, folks, call on in at 727-441-3000. Go to tantalk1340.com. Look us up. We're Random Talk. Email us, and we'll give you a free coupon to use on my website, realart.net. Or you can probably use, you may need this to use to buy some other stuff. I was looking up, I'd love to buy stuff on the internet, and when I was looking around, I saw you can get one of my favorite shows that I watch now is Game of Thrones, on HBO.
Yes.
It's really a big, if you go to the Comic-Con, that's all you see now is Game of Thrones. Used to see Transformers. Now it's Game of Thrones. Everything's Game of Thrones. But anyway, you can get a Castle Murphy bed for your apartment. There you go, Cedric. You can get a Castle Murphy bed. And, of course, if you're a pretty rich person, you can get one of these. And the Murphy bed, it's designed custom for each client. It has hand-carved stones, a chain beam, and supports, and lighting. And it can be tweaked or completely redesigned, or it can be changed into a pirate ship. So you can have a pirate ship Murphy bed. I guess you pull the rudder down and it pulls down. And it's $4,000. I think you can get a pretty nice, I guess in here to go along with the Murphy bed, you can get cat battle armor. And this is from leatherworker Snoo Nabooble. I hope I got that name right. Snoo Nabooble.
That's weird.
He hand fashions each set of the armor from veggie tan leather. How can you have veggie? Maybe he takes green onions and tans them or something. But anyway, the suit allows for full movement and serves as a harness for people to train their cats to walk on a leash. And the torso section features riveted plates and a dorsal spine. And you can get this, and so you can have your cat handcuffed to the bed when you got the Murphy bed down. Pretty strange. And then when you get up, you can go in the shower. I also saw that you can get a waterproof Bluetooth shower speaker, and this is $33.99. You can get this, and the thing is, you can even take it in with the shower and listen to your music. It's you can also answer your phone calls. So while you're taking a shower, if somebody calls you and says,
That's cool.
"Hey man, what's going on?" You can answer, "Not much, man. I'm just hanging out here taking a shower." Or, you can also, this thing will float in the pool. So if you're in the pool and somebody calls you, can go, "Hey man, I'm just out here just floating in the pool, man." But, what everybody should do, you don't want to miss those calls while you're in the shower. And isn't that right, Cedric?
Yeah, of course. important calls I get in the shower all the time.
Right. So what else is happening, Paul?
Well, today is April Fool's Day.
Right.
So there's been a lot of pranks going on all over the country. One of the pranks was that Drew Carey and the other guy, I can't remember what his name is.
Jamie Foxx?
No, not Jamie Foxx. It's
Arsenio Hall?
No. It's Craig Ferguson,
Who's Craig Ferguson?
Yeah. They switched places.
Oh.
So
so Craig Ferguson did The Price is Right?
The Price is Right.
And Drew Carey did The Late Late Show.
Exactly, yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, so it worked out, and everybody was a little confused, but you can tell Craig Ferguson was a little out of water, with what he was doing. But anyway, today's April Fool's Day, and I wanted to talk about how did that originate. And one of the theories is that France changed its calendar in the 1500s so that New Year's would begin in January, because it used to begin at the beginning of spring. And the word traveled slowly as they did all this. And what happened was I'm at a loss of words here. What happened is
I think what happened is the France, during the reign of Charlemagne, Charles the Great, who was the Holy Roman Empire, decided to change the calendar to begin in January.
That's right.
At the point we use a Julian calendar, which began at Easter.
And some of those people still celebrated it, so they called them April Fools.
Right, because word back then, we didn't have telephones or internet, and not to mention 99.9% of the people were illiterate.
Well, they spoke French,
So they kind of say la vous, man, say la vous.
But anyway, there's another one. There's another theory out there that came about where the king Constantine handed over his kingdomship or his empire to a jester named King Kugel. And the jester's name was Kugel, so they called him King Kugel. And so it really became a day of absurdity,
Yeah.
April's Fool's Day. So
So that's how it all began. In modern times, though, some of the more commercial businesses and stuff have really tried to capitalize. What will look like Drew Carey? They're really trying to capitalize on this for advertising for their show. Some newspapers, radio, TV stations have participated in this. In 1957, the BBC reported that Swiss farmers were experiencing a record spaghetti crop and showed footage of people harvesting noodles from trees. In 1985, Sports Illustrated tricked many of its readers when it ran a made-up article about a rookie pitcher named Sid Finch who could throw a fastball over 186 miles an hour. I don't know. What's the regular fastball rate?
about 95.
I'm not a big sports guy.
Right in that range, in the mid-90s, high 90s.
In 1996, Taco Bell, here. The fast food restaurant chain duped people when it announced that it agreed to purchase the Philadelphia Liberty Bell, and then it was going to rename it the Taco Bell. and people actually bought that. Now here's the best. This is the best one for me. In 1998, after Burger King advertised a left-handed Whopper, they got a mass of clueless customers coming in there, and they wanted to buy the sandwich. And it was a fake sandwich, but they're like, I want the left-handed Whopper, man. Their sales went up 35% on that day because people came in and wanted a left-handed Whopper. They wanted to have it their way. I demand it. I want to have it my way.
Is that the company that says that?
Yeah. Remember McDonald's is to all be paid special sauce, cheese, pickles, onions, and sesame seed bun.
Oh, now they've got another one. I think it's on chicken. Isn't it the King LeBron sandwich or something?
Seriously?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. James LeBron has a sandwich named after him in McDonald's now. It was on the news.
I don't
I'm
know,
not
but
kidding.
a couple of those McRib sandwiches. Have you ever seen how they're made?
Ugh,
I read how they were made, but
They
my friend Jerry
take
loves
like
them.
the rib is like cut up like it's all the bad part of the rib, and it's
Snout.
it's
no,
like-
it's snout and ears and nose and chin.
it's all ground up, and then they have like a mold that they put this in to look like a piece of rib.
Like a hot dog, right?
No, well, yeah, kind of. Well, a hot dog is put in a skin actually, and it's and the modern hot dog, like an Oscar Mayer, the skin is so thin you just bite through it. It's like I forget what they have a special
It's
name
called a
for it.
casing.
No, it's a company that came out with this and they patented it. I saw this on that show.
How they
Food.
make it?
Yeah. Well, it's not how they make it, but it was one of those food shows. And there's a company, and I think it's in Missouri, and they patented this thing, and it goes on. It's super thin, and they shoot the meat in there, and you don't even know you're eating it. It used to be they had a skin. Well, originally it was like an intestine.
Of a pig.
Right, and
Casing. They call it casings.
and then they had a skin
These casings came in
that
on
was
oak
like
barrel.
plastic or not plastic, but like a silicone skin of some sort, and instead of an actual intestine. But now they patent this thing in like the 20s or something like that. They're the only ones that had to do this, and so all those people that make hot dogs buy their stuff from this place. And I ran across this article. I brought it up because it's in Zephyr Hills, which is in our area here. It was this guy's got this. You know, I'm all hipped up on this Kickstarter thing. You know what Kickstarter is, right?
Yeah. Kickstarter. It's the startup capital company.
Get venture capital from
Right.
people. Well, this guy's trying to start up this group, I should say, of scientists is trying to start up a Kickstarter thing for Ocean Energy Turbine. It's an ocean energy turbine for limitless, clean, renewable energy. And this place is in Zephyr Hills, which is in our area, which is why I brought this up. And what this is, it's pretty cool. It's like they show a map of the Earth and all the currents underneath the water. And what this thing is, it sits on like post, and you put it underwater. And so the current is constantly moving this thing, and you get energy from that. Where the windmills, you not only see them, but wind's not always blowing, but the currents are always moving. And so this is underwater, and I guess they would use some type of steel that doesn't corrode or anything. Otherwise, wouldn't it corrode?
Well, that's not really a big deal. You know, they can find something that wouldn't corrode.
And they're trying to get this funded, and then you get they were saying how some of these could, you know, power a whole city and in the future, this and that, but they were trying to raise an enormous amount of money. But I just brought that up because that's in our area here.
Well, Kickstarter is too small for something like that, isn't it?
No, there's stuff on there for this. This thing was like they're trying to raise like $300,000-400,000.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's not that Kickstarter mostly is. It can be stuff they're trying to raise stuff that they sell for $10, or stuff they're selling for $100, something like that. Some of these they're trying to do a movie. They're trying to raise money for a movie, and they don't have enough money for a movie. It's a lot of college kids. They need some. You know, these movies today cost $25,000-30,000 to make a cheapo one out of college, and so they use the Kickstarter to try to do some venture capital for that. But a lot of guys, they got an idea for something. They made a model of it, like your sunglasses or something, and then they want to. They do a Kickstarter thing, and then you get one. So like you pay $14 or $15, and then when they get the thing, you get your money back. I mean, you don't get your money back. You get the item, but they raise the thing, and then they run it for a certain amount of days. And
so people actually see your bit on Quickstarter, and then they throw money at you.
Right.
And then
basically,
as the
it
funds
gets you a
keeps building
site
up,
that and Kickstarter makes their money by running ads, just like Google does on their site.
I think they get 5% or 7% of whatever money is raised. Also, because I saw the guy.
I don't know.
Yeah,
I'm gonna know because I'm gonna do my comic book on there.
Are you?
Yeah, I'm going to do, actually, you get to fund the, I need to raise $10,000 for the second and third issue, and then what happens is you buy the, you for $15, and you get 3 issues, and then it can go up from there. For like $50, you can buy a Fastos disc or a Rosetta Stone. And then I have posters that are autographed by the cover artists that you get with it, depending on how much you fund. Here was a thing that was on a Kickstarter thing. It was the man ring, and this was pretty cool. It's a man ring. It's in a class of its own. It's titanium. And you wear it around your ring, and it comes with, it's like a Swiss Army knife. It has a straight blade for cutting packing tape and finishing lines. It has a serrated edge blade for grinding through nylon strapping or that kind of stuff. It has a saw for gnawing plastic, It has a bottle opener, and it has a comb for combing your beard. So like you can comb your beard and stuff. And that was on Kickstarter, and they got like it's going to be $25.99, and then like so if you put a donation in of like $20, you can get one, and it's not or something like that, whatever they set it up at. And not all these things actually get funded.
Probably like I heard about this thing on Quickstarter, canned dragon meat. What do you think about that? And
I don't know. I'm usually the unicorn meat is my. I'm a dreamer. So.
This is packaged in Scotland.
Oh well, that sounds like what the Blarney's like. Is it Blarney in Scotland or Ireland?
And it's made by Sisters of Radiant Farms in Scotland.
Oh, it could be Loch Ness Monster.
Could be something like that, but it's a dragon, and you get this official.
Well, what's the ingredients?
Oh, the ingredients are belly, brisket, butt, and pointly parts of a newly butchered scaled beast. How about that?
Sounds good to me.
But they've been preserved over 1,000 years, and now they're canning them. So that's another starter, and I've got one more. It comes out of Sacramento, California this time, though.
Oh, really?
And it's whiskey beef jerky.
Remember we were talking last week, there was a lot of whiskey stuff going on.
Yeah, well, this is $7.99, and it really is...
Actually, that's not bad for... Well, I guess $7.99 is a little on the high side, but for like homemade jerky or something like that, I guess it's not homemade if it's available on the air.
Well, this has got slabs of quality beef produced locally in the areas surrounding. Get some jerky entrepreneurs, Alex Lane and Sarah Hellison's Sacramento hometown product. And it's got a whiskey glaze on it, and it's flavored with brown sugar, soy, and Worcestershire sauce, and some liquid smoke.
Wow.
And they make jerky out of it, and it's not highly processed. It's pretty tasty, and it's better than a horned turtle lumbering around in your small intestine.
Yeah, that would not be too good. What would that feel like? A horned turtle in your intestines?
Not good.
That's got to be like that feeling that you had some bad food and you need a toilet real quick.
I think that's where they were heading.
Hey, you got me all hungered up here. I'm ready for lunch. I ran across this most expensive hamburgers in America list, so I'm going to run down them real quick here. One's the Fleur Burger, $5,000. It costs $5,000, and this is out in Las Vegas, which is the home to the Fleur Burger. It's got Kobe beef burger, comes loaded with foie gras, truffles, and encased in a truffle-infused brioche bun. And when you order it, you automatically receive a bottle of Chateau Patrice 1995, which is the restaurant has listed at $5,300. So technically, you're getting the burger for free to sip the wine, which you're allowed to keep for bragging purposes. That doesn't even make sense. So that you get the wine. The wine is listed for $5,300, and you buy this for $5,000. So you save $300, and you get a hamburger.
Yeah, but Jimmy, you know when you're in Vegas and you hit something and you win like $10,000 or $50,000.
Yeah,
you can buy anything you want, and you feel like this is
it's
money
like
to burn.
I know you feel like you got a shot in the arm of adrenaline or something. It's like, yo! There's a Mally's Sports Bar and Grill for $1,900. You get this hamburger. It weighs 338 pounds. 338 pounds. It's a 54 540,000 or not 5,400, 540,000
calories
of absolutely ridiculous burger, 15 pounds of lettuce, 30 pounds of bacon, 30 pounds of tomatoes, 36 pounds of cheese. It takes 22 hours to prepare and requires the strength of 3 grown men to lift the patty into the oven.
Man versus food.
According to the menu, it says there's absolutely no reason for this burger, but if you order it, we'll make it, and you figure out what to do with it. Okay, then at the Burger Brasserie, sounds like it's in Las Vegas. Sounds like
everything's coming out.
It's out in Virginia City out there. The 777 burger. This is the poor man's version of the Fleur burger. It comes with Dom Perignon, and the same thing: Kobe beef, Maine lobster combo, topped with caramelized onions, brie, and crispy prosciutto, and 100-year aged balsamic vinegar. And this is a caramelized onion bun too that it's got. So, and then on the next we got where's this at? New York City, the 666 douche burger. I guess it's not a douche burger.
No, I think it's douche burger.
Oh, it is?
Yeah.
Okay. I thought I didn't want to say anything bad here for their hamburger.
Why would you stop now?
I don't know. Well, this is pretty cool. It's wrapped. The patty's wrapped in 6 sheets of gold leaf. What is that, an April Fool's joke or what? Because I'm calling this the douchebag burger or what? And pronouncing it, pronunciation was never my gift.
You didn't go to that class.
No, I was doing other things. Anyway, this hamburger's wrapped in 6 sheets of gold leaf and becomes part of the Hot Burger pantheon, even if it's served out of a food truck in New York City. So it's served out of a truck in New York City. And it's topped with rich people's crap, according to the Facebook page. And it's got gold leaf, foie gras, Kobe patty. Why they're all with these Kobe patties? Lobster steam, or champagne steam, lobster, caviar, and it's infused with barbecue sauce and wrapped up in 3 Benjamins.
$100 bills?
Yeah. So you're eating the money too. And then you got the Le Burger Extravagant. That's $295, and it's actually in the Guinness Book of World Records in 2012. It was named a Serendipity 3, and it's home to the worst expensive burger. You get a Wagyu beef patty. What's Wagyu?
It's a special beef that never gets to walk, and they never gets to see sunshine. And
you're kidding me. What are they?
Is that really what it is?
April Fools! This guy is like, we get in a car today, and he's like, we got to hurry to get down there, man. First of all, he's calling me on the phone. He's like, we got to get going. The traffic is really bad. I'm not even up yet, man. And I get there, pick him up, and he's like, we got to get back because I got to go in for surgery. I got cancer. And they got to do emergency surgery on my eyeball. And I got cancer in my eye. And I'm so, like, really? He had me going. I'm like, really? Because he had some problems with his eye. He kept seeing his water as Mountain Dew and was drinking it. And he had me going. And then he's like, April Fools. So, although I pulled in to get my Mountain Dew at a gas station on the way up here. And so I go in there, and the woman's there. Now, I see this woman all the time because I go in there regularly to get a Mountain Dew. And I said to her, what happened to your shirt? You got a big spot on it. And she goes, yeah. I'm like, April Fool's. She said, yeah, have a nice day. I'm like, man, this woman's just not into it, right? You know, pretty boring. Anyway, let's see. At $120, you can get the double truffle burger, which looks like a wimp compared to some of these other mates, but it's got it looks like these burgers all got the same thing. They got foie gras, truffle, gold leaf. So, you know what? We're going to have a barbecue, and I'll get some gold leaf and truffles, and since you own the restaurant, I'll have you do the cooking, and I'll float in the pool with my speaker.
Hey, did you hear about the Norwegian teen that he was drunk with his buddies, and he's a ladies' man, so his buddies gave him a choice of 2 tattoos. He was going to have a tattoo, so the buddy said, you're either going to get a tattoo of Barbie on your butt, or they were all at McDonald's. And, by the way, do you know what they call
a Royale with cheese? A quarter pounder with cheese in France?
Royale with cheese, right.
There you go.
So, anyway, they said, you're either going to have a Barbie.
What movie was that? What movie was that from?
If you give me a second, I'll tell you. Was it James Bond?
No, it was Pulp Fiction when John Travolta
right.
was talking in the car and they were going to go shoot those guys.
Yeah.
And he's like, no, I don't buy that, man. It's not a Royale with cheese. You know, I just bought a foot ashtray from that movie.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, it's an ashtray. That guy, remember the dope dealer with he looked like the Big Lebowski robe?
Yeah.
Okay, well, in his room there where the car came through, remember the car came through there? Yeah. That ashtray was in that room. Anyway, I didn't mean to interrupt you. Go ahead.
Well, anyway, the kid finally says, no, I'm not getting the Barbie on my butt. I'm going to tattoo the McDonald's receipt on my forearm. So he called home and told his dad what he was doing, and his father told him, don't come home if you put that tattoo on your forearm. And that's the story.
The kid's an idiot. There was a picture of the kid on here. Who in the hell would tattoo their receipt from McDonald's on their arm? The kid is really an idiot. And you know what makes him a worse idiot is, his buddies were teasing him because, and he ordered a hot apple pie. That's what he got. He didn't even get any French fries or anything.
Oh, it was just the receipt of a hot apple pie?
Well, he went in and they said they wanted a receipt, so he went in. I think he got himself a triple ripple. He got a hot apple pie and a triple ripple. He didn't even have a Big Mac or fry or anything on there. And then it's got the golden arches at the top and sales tax and all that stuff. I think they charge different sales tax. Wasn't this in Norway or something like that?
Yeah, it was in Norway.
Yeah,
right.
I tell you, stuff like that really makes me mad. You know what I saw? I usually also ran across this. Goodwill was caught this week. Now, I've been saying this for a long time. These charitable organizations you got to watch out for these things. Like Salvation Army, the head man here in Tampa was making $3 million a year. Even up our way, the guy makes $150,000 a year. And it was all unfolded at 9/11. When that hit, a lot of these things came to light. United Way, remember, they used to get the football, and the guy was making $10 million a year, the head guy for that. And now United Way's got its act back together. But I guess Goodwill has not. Because you know what? They were caught paying a disabled employee pennies per hour.
It's a law.
And
they can do it legally.
I want to bring something up about this, but I'm going to give you the summary of this thing. There's an advocacy group pushing to end this law. That they got this subminimum. There is a subminimum wage law that allows people like
Disabled.
At the radio station here they hire Cedric. He's a handicapped person, so he gets paid under minimum wage. Isn't that right, Cedric? He's having brain problems. When he does that, folks, he's biting his nostril on the right side. He's got that. He's trying to eat a left-handed Whopper at the same time, and all that comes out is this, "Hey, hey." And incidentally, this Mary Jones, who takes pride in her neatly tucked corners of her bed, got a job from the Goodwill, and her job was she had to go down, and she's handicapped. She's got cerebral palsy, and she was offered a job to work here, and they get paid per on the piece work. So she had to go down and hang 100 pieces, and and she gets paid so much a piece. And because of her handicap, it took her forever to do this, and she said if she made 50 cents, she was lucky. And they went through, so Al Jazeera, who I definitely don't like watching because I'm like anti.
Oh, you?
I'm an American, man. I was born here. I'm proud to be an American. And Al Jazeera on cable is just, I know it is, but dude, I'm an American and I'm proud to be an American. If you're an American, call into the network here because, I'm sick of this stuff. And Al Jazeera, next they'll be buying Seinfeld episodes and putting them on there. And remember, when you lose the hand, it's all downhill from there. And anyway, they brought this story to light, but and that is and so they're trying to get this thing changed, and the woman's suing Goodwill now to try to get money, and Goodwill made 38. They showed assets of 38 million on their tax returns that they made in earnings last year. And the CEO of Goodwill last year made $467,000 in compensation.
I think that's just in New York, though, wasn't it?
Yeah, this is in New York because each state has a different Goodwill, even though they're united. But the question is what happens, Paul? Like if you want to hire somebody to work in your office and they're handicapped, should you not hire them? It's kind of a hassle to go through this and now you got to pay your accountant to go through and find out the ins and outs of this Section 4C of the Fair Labor Standards Act. And you are opening yourself up we used to, my business, we used to have a bunch of, we thought we were doing a good thing. I had about 150 employees, but we started out with a couple. And it was a phone business, and what it was is we had used phones come in, and we repaired them, and then we hired retirees to work like a half a day, and they came in and cleaned the phones, put them in a box, and it was just something for them to do. They were retired, and they'd come in and work a half a day, and they could talk amongst themselves. And I think at one time we had 35 of these guys, but you know what happened? We had one of these guys sued us because we had to let him go because he was a jerk. He ended up suing us for age discrimination. He said we fired him for age. I know what we let him go because he was stealing, and he got a suit and he filed an age discrimination suit. And even though we had people that were older than him, we still had to go through the process. And we had to go to court. I had to pay to send those other guys to court to say I work here. So I'm paying for their time to go there, and it's just a big pain in the egg. So my question to you is, if I want to hire a handicapped person, let's say I'm good at heart. This is my good deed for the year.
Okay.
And I want to hire some type of handicapped person.
Me.
Then
Me.
Well, you don't want it. They're not. I don't want to say they're not worth the minimum
I want the
wage,
board up job.
but they can't do the job that a regular guy can do.
Right.
So they don't warrant the same wage. And you're just giving them a job. I mean, you're trying to be a nice guy.
But it is kind of annoying when you go to a McDonald's or a Burger King and the person handing you your burger.
Yeah, and you order you order a fry and they throw a triple ripple in the shoot.
It's a little disturbing when they're making my, mocha frappuccino and I don't know, they could drool in it or something.
Well, maybe they should have limitations
racist
on
or
it.
stereotypical or.
I'll tell you another thing that got to me. You see these guys on the road and they got will work for food. I tried actually hiring some of these people at minimum wage.
How'd that go?
And they didn't want to work. I said, come on, I'll hire you right now. Because we had a problem up in Newport Richey. Our business was growing faster than the actual population there. And we were working overtime every day. And I was trying to hire tech people and then train them. And then we had the retiree guys that would come in. And then I had other guys in the warehouse, and I had a job for these guys because we were expanding so fast from 2 people to 150 like within 5 years. And so I said, I was trying to be a nice guy. Hey, because I couldn't find anybody, and they didn't want to work. They were making enough there. And then, they take that money and go buy beer and drugs. Right?
Right.
So anyway, what's next on the agenda? Maybe I need a beer.
Sunday was the finale of Walking Dead.
Really?
And there is a brewery called Dock Street Brewery. And I don't even know what city it's in, but I think it's up north somewhere.
Probably where Walking Dead is, in Seattle.
Yeah.
Isn't that where it is?
I don't know if that's where it's at, but it could be. But anyway, they add real brains into their ale. Oh. They take smoked goat brains and mix it into the ale, and that's what they drank.
I'm going to get
a celebratory drink.
I'm going to get a 6-pack of that and try next week. You up for that, Cedric?
Well,
maybe
there is a thing for take home.
I have to drink a couple regular beers.
Yeah,
first,
with each bottle they give you a bowl.
Yeah.
Well, you don't need to be a zombie to want it. You just need enough of a daring palate to drink it.
I mean, it doesn't taste like goat brain.
You know what?
Does it?
You need to have one of those with. I saw this for sale. It's an indoor marshmallow roaster, and it's a little circular thing with that goat. The brain beer. You need a marshmallow roaster. You put it on the coffee table, and it looks like a bowl, and it torches, and you make your s'mores or your marshmallows, and it does everything you need to do. Well, that reminds me, today there's 6 questions that you probably don't want to be asked, but you should. And this is a little motivation for you.
I like that.
And I thought I'd put this in here today, and to help you get motivated in your life. Everybody's got a little bit of depression, and maybe these things can help you. And these are questions that you should ask yourself. I'm going to ask you, how much did I spend? Now, everybody's bought something, and it's like, wow, you get caught up in the moment, and like I was just, you bought a car that maybe you shouldn't have spent. And how much did I spend? Way too much money? Is that beyond my budget? Or maybe I shouldn't have spent that much money. And if you analyze how much I spent, it tells you a lot about yourself. Now, would you say that you budget your stuff pretty good, or a cheapskate, or are you an overspender?
I'm an overspender.
So you don't manage your money well?
I manage my
I'd
money
say you
well.
manage your money well. I know you. You've had a successful business for several years.
I manage my money well, but sometimes I get a little frustrated when I get at home at the end of the night and pull the receipts out, and I start going over them, and I'm saying, hey, I shouldn't have actually ordered those chicken wings.
Yeah.
Or I shouldn't have ordered an appetizer.
Well, I think a lot of times people go to the restaurant and they order, a bunch of stuff, and then they don't eat anything, and then they end up bringing it home. So they're ordering way too much. Maybe that happens to me when I order soup, salad, appetizer, Reuben, and I get a Dagwood sandwich, and it's like, wow, I ate the soup, I'm full.
That's right, Jimmy. You are that person.
Yeah. My eyes were bigger than my stomach. But anyway, people need to budget their money and only spend what they're bringing in. You got to have vision. Okay, I make so much a week, and this is how much I'm going to have in a month. It's how much I'm going to have in a year. So don't make don't get your credit cards all maxed out, because they're charging 20%. If you can't pay them off, I shouldn't say it. My credit cards, I have huge charges every month, but I pay mine off every month because I have huge income coming in. And but not everybody's as fortunate as that. And I know, like, my kids, my daughter doesn't even have a credit card. She has a debit card, and she won't spend anything unless she's got the money in the bank. And it's probably better off for that. And if you're the meaning of life, if you're hoping, it is materialistic. You know, when I was young, you want the big things. You want the Ferrari, the Rolls Royce, the house by the ocean. Yeah, like me. You know, unfortunately, I reached that at a young age. The problem is I reached that at 25, and it's like, what do I do now? Well, I start going to Club Chicago every weekend, and you flatline. So you got to go down to a BMW from a Ferrari. So. But everybody wants those materialistic things. But I'll tell you, when you hit 30 or something, the materialistic things don't matter anymore. You start wanting to help your fellow guy out there. And that's why you start going and trying to get a job to these guys that'll work for food. And it's frustrating when they won't work for food. I mean, when they won't work for a salary and they just want to work for food. But there are people that you can help, and I usually try to get people that are off track on track. And it seems like the people that want to hear me, and I know you don't want to hear me, but the people that do are the kids, the teenagers. And who did I help as his kids? Who did you help? What do? You talk to a lot of people, too. I hear you all the time. That's why I like you.
I help my patients, and I always help kids in my restaurants.
You do talk to your patients, man. There's nobody, and I mean this, there's nobody out there that cares about their patients more than this man right here. I mean...
Thanks, Jim. That was very nice.
I mean, yesterday, a friend of mine came into his office. I grabbed his arm, and he took a paddle out and hit me over the head.
Well, the guy just had surgery.
And no, I'm serious, Paul. There's nobody that cares about their patients like you do, man. This guy, really, most doctors. My brother was a chiropractor, and he hated the thing, and he could care less about the patients, and he would just spend his time out and back smoking. And then his best friend was a chiropractor, and remember Cliff Peters?
Was Cliff Peters his friend?
And he hated it. He would spend most of it. I mean, you could smell on his fingers there was smoke. That's how many, he hated it. And but you really like it, and you're friendly. You talk to these people. My brother would never talk to any of these people. Now, what do you learn every day is another thing. When I get up, I try to learn something new every day. I have actually a list of idea. I'm an idea man. I was always an idea man. I see things different. When I go to Chili's, I see that lava rock as gold nuggets from Pirates of the Caribbean, and they go on eBay. Other people don't see stuff like that. So when today I come up with a new idea every day. I got a new idea yesterday in your office. And
what was it?
Well, the cookies thing, the trays with the cookies. Remember I was trying to sell you on that?
That's right.
And so every day, did you learn what the latest celebrity thing was? Oh my God, what a waste of time. Your time is very valuable because you get hit by a car tonight. So while you're here, now did you learn how to play a minor chord on a guitar? Yeah, it's a breakthrough. What we learn every day is a clue about our priorities at life and where we're headed. Now, what did you learn today? Or what do you try to learn? Do you have anything you try to learn every day?
Yeah, I do.
Like what?
I learned about that piece of equipment that didn't have to go back to the manufacturer. I found somebody else that could fix it.
Right.
So I learned that don't believe what you read all the time.
Well, I learned that a long time ago. But also a tip is that be resourceful. I'm a very resourceful person. Don't give up. When you can't find where to get it repaired, don't give up. Keep searching, and you'll find. Seek, and ye shall find. And every day when you get up, you should try to improve yourself. You should try to, there's always something to make yourself better, a better person. And everybody says, let's go work out, let's eat healthier. And I'll give you Paul this too, is he works out 3 times a week. I can never get into that. I do try to, I set aside each day and try to read for an hour, the old-fashioned way. I read 100 books a year.
You do. You're a big reader, Jim.
And I try to learn new things. Of course, I have 300 hobbies also. I'm writing 11 books. I got movies. I got comic books. I got things going on that I'm traveling at the speed of light. That's why they call me Mr. Fahrenheit. And then you try to have a breakthrough project. And I'll tell you why, because when you got a breakthrough project, even though I get sidetracked very easily, but like this show was our breakthrough project, it feels good when you come out of here. And we got this show, it's working, we got a couple of guys calling in, and it's like a breakthrough, you know, it makes you feel good. And when you feel good about yourself, you feel good about everything. You can look back when you're 65, and you look back, what the hell did I do with my life? Well, you know what? I felt damn good about it. And I didn't just flush it down the toilet like a lot of people do. And coming down, this day in history, General Hospital in 1963 started its debut.
Was that the only one?
No. What do you mean, the only day in history?
No, the only show that started and then.
Well, that I know of. And on April 1st, 1877, the discoverer of Tombstone begins prospecting. And, of course, he found the Tombstone lode. You know what happened this day, April 1st, 1984? What happened? Do you know what happened?
1984.
Well, you know because you read this. Marvin Gaye was shot and killed by his own father. Remember Marvin Gaye?
Heard it through the grapevine.
I heard it through the grapevine. And here also, the word of the day is hospitalist. Now, do you know what that means?
I read it.
And this really has a lot to do in our future here, because it's a physician who specializes in treating hospitalized patients of other physicians. So, like if George has been practicing adult medicine in the St. Louis area since 1999, including 10 years of experience as a hospitalist. As an internist with nearly a decade of practice as a hospitalist, he's been at Stanford University Medical Center. And
here comes California.
All right.
It is California.
Here cometh April again, and as far as I can see, the word hath more fools in it than ever before. So we'll see you next April, and you know what? There's no doubt there'll be more fools in it. And back to your hamburger stuff, the best commercials are those Hardy commercials with, what's her name? Charlene Hilton.
Oh, yeah.
What's that girl's name?
I have no clue.
She hangs out in South Beach. Paris Hilton.
Paris. Well, anyway.
I thought that was Carl's Jr.
Carl's Jr. and Hardee's are owned by the same people.
Oh, yeah.
All right, folks. Until next week, go ahead.
This is Dr. Paul Cox.
I'm Jim Arnold.
And we'll see you next week. Same place, same time. Thanks for listening.
Ciao.
WTAN, Clearwater, Tampa Bay. WDCF, Dade City, Tampa Bay. WZHR, Zephyr Hills, Tampa Bay. Listen.